A democracy thrives when citizens are informed, engaged, and empowered to participate in the political process. However, in many communities, there is a lack of access to quality civil education and voter engagement initiatives. To address this gap and strengthen democratic participation, some concerned Nigerians are embarking on workshops. One of them is It Starts With Me, and it's funded by Leap Africa and Nigeria Youth Futures Fund. Joining us now on the morning show to speak more on the youth engagement workshop and address the planned protests in Nigeria is Hafsatu Shinkafi, founder, I Am Change Organization, and CEO, Ike Services Nigeria. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, thank you. So glad to be here.
Okay, well, it's good to hear the phrase, it starts with me, youth in action. At a time when Nigerian youths and others are saying, we are hungry, we are hungry, and we want to protest against what they call bad governance. Now, where does this workshop, where does it come in? I know you are involved with Ike Services, Change Humanitarian Organization, and then you have this idea. I guess the timing cannot be more auspicious, but tell us more about it.
All right, thank you. So it's a coincidence that it happens to, the program is starting when the protest is being planned. I Am Change is an organization that's into youth development in key areas of youth leadership, democratic participation, and youth advocacy. So a few months ago, we applied for this grant with Leap Africa and NYFF, Nigerian Youth Futures Fund. And we were lucky enough and fortunate to get the grant. And so we've been planning this program for about 3 months, and then it happens to coincide with the protest. So it's a very good and, like you said, auspicious timing. And what we'll be doing is we're going to be training 150 youth on the 31st of July. And that's just the beginning of the program. The program will run for about 6 months. And so during that workshop, we'll be training them on civic engagement, positive engagements, and civic duties and responsibilities. So hopefully out of those 150 trainees, we'll have some that will participate in the protest positively and set a good example for other protesters.
All right. So I guess from what you just said, you're not against the protest, a peaceful protest happening next week, as long as people are informed and are able to carry out the protest peacefully. But let's talk about the detail. Just looking at the details of the training, the activities that you plan to do, and the age range that you're looking to capture. Can you share with us where you found the gap? So what informed this in terms of the gap amongst young people? Because the last elections was dominated by young people. It was said that more young people registered to vote, but there still seems to be a challenge with active citizenship amongst young people. Can you give us a better clarification of that and what truly informed this project?
Okay, sure. So as we all know, Nigeria's majority population are young people. So the job is an unending job. There are a lot of young people to raise their knowledge in terms of positive citizens participation. And like you said, last elections, we saw an increase in the number of youth voters and youth participation in the electoral process. There were new movements coming into the electoral process and the space. So, we did identify this gap, and we're starting from Abuja, and we really hope and intend to replicate this program all over the 36 states, because we would say that Abuja youth and population will probably have more opportunity than other states. So we would like to replicate this program and increase awareness in terms of youth and even the whole citizenship in terms of their civic rights and responsibilities, engaging in civic duties, the civic education, and also as well as being involved in the democratic political sector as well. So it's quite important for this large majority of youth population in Nigeria to, get into the space and hopefully make positive change. That's the title of the program. It starts with me. That's what the message is all about, that, you have to start with yourself, and there's a lot of responsibility on the citizens in a democratic system. There's a lot of focus on the government, on the officials, which is right as well, but there's also so much responsibility on the citizen, and being the youth, being the majority of Nigerian citizens, we have a lot of responsibility to take.
All right. I mean, tell me more about some of the trainings, you'll be deploying, and tell me more also about how the process went through the grant you got at LEAP. Just tell me more. I want to learn more.
Okay, sir. So, well, like I said, it's an open call for application, and we applied. I Am Change has been in the space since 2015. We have had a number of accomplishments since then. Every elections we plan events and workshops for youth. In 2019, we had a youth in politics and the future of Nigeria. Elections last year, we had citizens' awareness and role of stakeholders in post-election stability. So it's a tradition for us to engage youth in these processes and also civics education. And to answer your question, with these accomplishments, we applied and we were granted, and we've been planning this since we were awarded the grant. And luckily for us, it coincides with such an important event, because I think in recent times there hasn't been any protest that has been consciously planned and discussed, such as the upcoming protest. And it's a fundamental human right and democratic right for citizens to engage in constructive, positive, peaceful, law-abiding protests. And of course, we all know the country is in a very tensed period. There's a lot of needs for security and welfare. So there's nothing wrong with, citizens coming out constructively to make demands to its officials and hopefully get those demands met. It's been done before. I believe during Dr. Abati's administration, the same thing happened. And, we saw that the prices were reduced and citizens were being attended to. Demands were being met. So I really don't see much wrong. And we see that, the response has been a bit, it's been a bit tough from the government. So tough, I don't know if that's the word, but basically I think the officials, they just need to address the ones with the right intentions, with the, intentions to lead the protest positively, and then strictly warn, like I just saw the previous guest was on air speaking about that, strictly warn all destructive elements or sabotage or saboteurs and people with the wrong intentions. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay, let's go back to this workshop. 6 months, 115 participants, I guess. What are your expectations in terms of outcomes? And the theme is voter engagement initiative. What are the things you expect the people who will be part of that training to take away?
So the first day that is coming up on Wednesday is the workshop for 150 participants. We're going to be training them on how to engage positively, and we're going to be training them on the democratic system, duties and responsibilities of citizens, and also just in general the civic education concept in the democratic system. And then afterwards we're going to be having a democracy camp in 3 secondary schools in Abuja. We're going to go to the secondary schools and engage for a month We're going to be having classes and tutoring for these pupils and young students. We're going to be teaching them about democracy, processes, electoral processes, the Nigerian history of the democratic system, the different types of governments that we've had in the past, a little bit of history, a little bit of learning in terms of the democratic system. And then afterwards, we're going to be having a media literacy and training project during the whole program, which is going to take place online. And also we're going to be having field trips. Being fortunate to have this program in Abuja, we have the opportunity to visit some key institutions, key democratic institutions, to have like a first-hand experience for our beneficiaries and participants to experience and have a look at these processes and meet their representatives and just have an overall experience of the government and the system.
But do you have a system in place for monitoring, for evaluating after the training? I mean, it's very easy to bring people
Absolutely.
together.
So
how do you monitor? Please go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. After monitoring and evaluation happens after the program is completed. So you put your measures and your strategies on how to keep engaging these participants after the whole training is done, and you keep finding other opportunities, bring them into other programs. And like I said, I would like to replicate this particular program that we painstakingly designed in all 36 states. So hopefully this group, our first pioneer groups, will also participate in the upcoming programs that we'll be having.
All right, excellent. So tell us, how did you identify the 150 young people whom you'll be engaging first for the workshop on the 31st? Was there an open call for application? Is it still open? Some people might be watching, might be interested. And if this cycle is closed, what's the prospect for future cycles? Aside that, as a young person, what do you think this government can do to accommodate more participation of young people in governance? I know we have the Not Too Young to Run bill and the like, but what other things do you think can be done to enable more young people's participation in politics and governance?
Right. So the program is closed for now, and it was an open call. Like I said, the organization has been in existence for 10 years, so we do have partners in the sector, in the non-profit sector. So they also nominated some benefactors and participants for the program. And also, we would like to replicate it, like I said, so anybody that is interested can visit iamchange.org to follow up with our activities. And yes, there will definitely be some more opportunities to come up from our platform. And please, I do urge you to follow iamchange.org on all platforms. And as well as engaging young citizens in this particular government, it just doesn't start by appointing young people. There has to be youth-oriented policies, of course, and it's good to give credit when it's due. We do see that there's a number of youth appointments. That's a good start, but definitely we would need strong youth-oriented, youth-focused policies in place. And also, just to come back to the theme of the present time, it also starts from listening to the youth. And, there's a lot of things that citizens want to express at this times. So listening to the youth carefully and evaluating and observing what the youth demands are, and then implementing them. So I think that's a very good start for all leaders to take.
Okay, so what are the collaborations you have?
Collaborations. Well, this is being supported by LEAP Africa and NYFF. I'm not sure I understand, but we do have partners.
And NYFF, I'm saying collaborations with other ancillary bodies. Like, take for instance, Madam Obi Ezekwesili has got a school, you know, for governance and democracy. You've got groups like Enough is Enough and all of that. What are the far-reaching collaborations?
Well, in terms of my qualifications, I was very fortunate to participate and be part of a number of programs and courses in this space. And also I did study international relations in the university, and I was fortunate to be in a city where it was very international and also had, you know, all the non-profit organizations and headquarters. In fact, my inspiration for starting I Am Change started from the very early days of my university years when I visited the Red Cross headquarters and realized that, wow, this was done by two simple individuals, and now it has reached where the heights that it has reached. So it's quite possible to, you know, to contribute from a civilian or citizen standpoint, and for it to grow to all means. Like, currently, I do not have any interest in running for office. I believe that I Am Change and what we're doing in the organization is.
Ma'am, I'm saying, can you hear me, please?
I hope I didn't digress.
No, what I'm saying is collaborations. Who are those you collaborate with? You know, there are many schools of governance. There are many schools of civil studies. There are many schools of advocacy. You know, how do you collaborate with them? Even in your scheme, your curriculum and all of that. The collaborations you have, collaboration.
Collaborations, right. I understand the word collaboration. So I'm not with any body of schools or institutions, but like I said, we do have partnerships with a lot of NGOs. We collaborate, like I Lead Africa. We've collaborated on the content and the material for this program with that organization. They've also had some good recognition and achievements in this sector. And, you know, I believe that with time, we'll probably reach the type of institutions that you're saying. Right now, my focus is not on that. I believe I haven't grown to that level. By the way, this grant is one of our first few major grants. So we're still growing, and hopefully we will collaborate with those types of institutions. For now, I'm just collaborating with other non-profit organizations here based in Abuja and other places. We also have worked with Yaga Africa, which is very well known and recognized. So they are key partners to us. On the 31st, we have the programs director of Yaga that will be taking one of the workshops. So these are some of the examples.
Well, without any doubt, I think you are in good hands with LEAP Africa and Yaga Africa, given their, you know, pedigree in the public space, civic space. Yeah. But you were talking about, you know, your personal background and experience. And, you know, out of curiosity, I wanted to ask you, the name Shinkafi is a very famous name in Nigeria. We used to have Umaru Shinkafi, head of the Nigerian Security Organization, as it was known, NSO, and later Minister of Internal Affairs. Any connection, or you are both just from the same village of Shinkafi?
No, Umaru Shinkafi is my late father, and that is the connection.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.
Yeah.
And we wish you all the best with the program. It Starts With Me.